Thanks to Super Saiyan 4, Gohan has defeated his first opponent, the 7-star Shadow Dragon, with relative ease. Vegeta has also defeated his first dragon in the Demon Realm as well. But with his next opponent standing across from him now, it's clear to Gohan and especially Kibito Kai that something is far different with the 1-star dragon. He doesn't care about tormenting the people on planet Earth. He just wants to destroy strong people, and he already knows about the Z Fighters' plan to fight on the other planets, so he allows Kibito Kai to take him to Gohan. This is chapter 12 of Dragon Ball AF. He's quite the capable opponent, Gohan thinks to himself as the two prepare to start their battle. Little tricks aren't gonna work against him. Understanding that this is gonna be much different than the last fight, Gohan immediately starts powering up and transforms right away. He's gonna start this battle as a Super Saiyan 4, showing just how powerful he knows this Shadow Dragon is. There's no room for mistakes, no room to let his guard down even for a moment this time. The 1-star dragon is actually shocked by Gohan's extreme power up, but this excites him as well as he says that this is wonderful. Your power has greatly increased, hasn't it? I'm looking forward to this. However, some of you guys may be wondering why Gohan didn't just immediately use Super Saiyan 5, right? Well, this is when we're brought back to a flashback of the Z Fighters before the hunt for the Shadow Dragons began and everyone was sent to their designated planets. Elder Kai tells them that before the battles begin, there's one very important thing they need to know. It concerns the Super Saiyan 5 transformation, he says, but I think you both have probably already realized it. The burden on the body is severe too, but the burden on the brain is even more excessive than anything. If possible, I'd like you to try and defeat them without resorting to using that transformation, he says, but that'll probably be difficult to do. As you are currently, the longest you could probably remain in Super Saiyan 5 is around 10 minutes at best. Otherwise, if you maintain the form for much longer, I fear that there will be serious side effects on your body and your brain. Depending on the circumstances, you could even lose your lives. 10 minutes is it? Gohan asks. Elder Kai replies again with a stern warning to only use the Super Saiyan 5 transformation as their ultimate trump card. If you do transform, please be careful not to overdo it. So, you'll have to pace this fight correctly while also being very aware of his opponent's strength, or else a number of things may do him in. Well, this is it. Gohan charges at the 1-star dragon as the battle begins. The battle to decide the fate of Pan, Goku, and the universe, because if Gohan and Vegeta can't stop these last two Shadow Dragons, then no one can. The dragon seems unusually calm as Super Saiyan 4 Gohan throws a couple of punches that easily get blocked. He throws a kick that Gohan's able to block, but it's a lot more powerful than I think Gohan was expecting it to be, leaving his arm ringing and actually kind of numb momentarily. Now, Gohan is being completely put on defense from a flurry of attacks by the dragon. He's able to narrowly avoid most of his attacks, but his speed is steadily increasing until the moment he's able to finally land a solid hit, punching Gohan in the gut. He sends Gohan flying backwards, still having yet to even get serious with him, with Gohan noticing immediately that this fight is going to be much different than the last. He tries to shake it off and leaps back into the fight, clashing with the Shadow Dragon once more, trying to take back advantage in this one. The dragon easily blocks all of his attacks and is easily able to put Gohan back on defense with another flurry of attacks. Gohan throws a punch that the dragon is able to duck under, then he dodges a kick as well, telling Gohan that it's honestly futile. He lands another crushing punch to Gohan, reverberating and launching him across planet Kachin. The power that this guy possesses is honestly out of this world. Just his strikes alone are doing insane damage to Gohan and crushing him with incredible force, and he's yet to even use his real power yet. The Elder Kai gave them a pretty extreme warning about the time limit that they need to be wary of with Super Saiyan 5, but at this point, it's clear that there might not be any other way with this guy. Over on planet Earth, Videl, Chi-Chi, and Bulma are all sitting around a table having tea, as the look of peril on Videl's face is impossible to ignore. Chi-Chi tries to snap her out of it by saying that things will be okay and that they'll work out. I understand how you feel, she says, but fretting won't help. Gohan will beat all the bad guys and revive Pan for sure, she says, but even Bulma has to admit that this is pretty unbearable. There's nothing they can do but sit around and wait. Back on planet Kachin, Gohan is trembling trying to get back to his feet as the dragon tries to even give him some tips. He tells Gohan that the way he's fighting right now is no good. If you do such large attacks, you'll leave yourself vulnerable and unwittingly tire yourself out. You're so calm and composed. I felt rushed, so I wasn't calm. Next time, it won't be that way, Gohan replies. The dragon, however, doesn't care at all about any distractions, telling Gohan he doesn't care about his own personal circumstances, he just wants to enjoy this fight. So, I don't want you to fight in such a wasteful manner, he tells Gohan. I don't have much time to spare for your amusement, Gohan replies, but that last one did open my eyes. I had forgotten that you're not an opponent who can be easily defeated. Thank you. The dragon tells him to prepare himself though, because this next attack is going to be even more powerful than his last one, and he launches himself at Gohan. Gohan stands his ground this time though, waiting for the dragon to throw his next attack and narrowly avoids it. However, he's able to trap the dragon's arm with his own against his body and swings him around before throwing him into the sky. Next, Gohan fires a number of multiple ki blasts, pelting the Shadow Dragon with attack after attack as massive explosions ring off. When Gohan finishes and the smoke clears, however, Gohan is shocked by what he sees next. The dragon darts out of the debris unscathed by that last attack and charges at Gohan as they trade punches. These two are absolutely going at it this time around, with Gohan standing his ground, being a little more focused this time as he's able to equalize the dragon's attacks a little bit better in round 2. The two go on to clash punch after punch, kick after kick, until finally in one final strike, the two create a massive shockwaves that sends them both flying backwards, showing how equal they both are in this battle at this point. However, the both of them seem to be showing a healthy amount of respect for each other's strength and skill as well. Even the dragon comments that Gohan's movement has improved, which is good because otherwise this wouldn't be as fun. He tells him to focus harder, and this will only make the fight even better for the both of them here on out. Don't think you can maintain that composure forever, Gohan tells him. But as we guessed, the dragon hasn't even begun to get serious yet, stating that he's probably only using around 50% of his power at this point. Gohan calls his bluff though, provoking the one-star Shadow Dragon to show him more, immediately calling for him to turn up the intensity a little bit. So, the dragon extends his arm and gathers an immense amount of ki on his fingertips, as Gohan even takes note that not only is his ki incredible, the evil negative energy emanating from this guy is earth-shattering. The one-star dragon releases his next attack, the right snake, that slithers through the air across the battlefield towards Gohan, who's barely able to avoid it. Then, the left snake, that is shot through the air towards a defenseless Gohan, who's unable to dodge this one. It hits Gohan in his left bicep, freezing the battlefield momentarily, as it doesn't seem to injure him at all, which kinda confuses Gohan. Even he notices that although he has this weird aura around where he got hit, he doesn't have any pain. But the dragon smirks and begins laughing at him, saying, "Is that so?" after Gohan comments that he didn't do any damage to him. All of a sudden, his arm is frozen to his side. It's just become slightly paralyzed. It'll go back to normal in a few minutes, the dragon tells him. However, it'll be impossible for you to continue evading my moves in that state. It's certainly hard to predict the path of that complicated movement, Gohan thinks to himself, considering that last attack. It's going to be tough avoiding that technique in a state where one arm won't move. The dragon fires off both his left and right snakes simultaneously this time, pushing Gohan to his limit, even with one arm completely useless right now. He is able to barely avoid these random attacks for a short time, but before long, his other arm is hit and then restricted as well. But the dragon isn't done here. Next, he fires off both attacks again, and while Gohan is able to evade the first assault, Both of his legs are struck next, completely restricting all of his limbs now. Now, it looks like it's game over, as Gohan admits that he can't really move his body at all now. But the one-star dragon still isn't done here. Now that Gohan is completely immobilized, the dragon goes back on the attack again, completely overwhelming him with repetitive strikes over and over again, breaking him down with multiple attacks until finally slamming him down into the ground below. Next, the dragon goes into showing off some of those cool poses he was researching while waiting on Kibito Kai before launching his next attack, his Dark Dragon Cannon. A massive beam that rips through the battlefield, soaring towards Gohan, who has only just now regained back control of both of his arms, but is unable to dodge the enormous attack headed his way that explodes right under the dragon's feet. But right now, complete silence, as the dragon assumes that Gohan might be dead from that last attack. Well, that ended a lot faster than I thought it would. How disappointing, he says. I hope the next opponent will prove to be more entertaining. Back on the planet where Elder Kai and Goku are, Kibito Kai has gone back to the sacred world to retrieve Oob, Goten, and Trunks, as it seems everything has gone well for now, so they just need to wait for Gohan and Vegeta. Seems both of them have succeeded in defeating their Shadow Dragons. Gohan, however, is currently fighting his second Shadow Dragon, the one-star dragon Super Yi Shinron, Kibito Kai says. But Elder Kai tells them that he's struggling because he's a lot more powerful than they had imagined. Goten and Trunks can't believe that this guy is giving Gohan so much trouble. As he is now, they thought that he'd be able to beat any opponent. However, Elder Kai tells them that Gohan hasn't transformed into a Super Saiyan 5 just yet, and for good reason. Super Saiyan 5 puts an enormous burden on the body and brain, so Gohan is trying his best to fight without transforming as much as possible. But it doesn't seem like he can cut any corners and beat this opponent. Gohan will probably have no choice but to get serious. Goten and Trunks offer to go help Gohan, but he tells them no. For now, we'd best just keep watching, he says. As I said before, Gohan hasn't gotten serious yet. Besides, there's still one more Shadow Dragon out there, so I need you guys to wait here just in case. Oob asks what if Gohan loses, but Elder Kai assures him that it'll be fine for now. They should just trust Gohan's battle sense. After all, he is Goku's son. So for now, they leave things in his hands as Kibito Kai prepares to head back to Earth and find the final Shadow Dragon to deliver them to Vegeta. Over on planet Kashin, Gohan finally shows himself again after regaining control of all of his limbs back, leaping out of the smoke. The dragon is even more excited now that it seems like he had underestimated Gohan initially. Looks like there's still plenty of fun in store, he goes on. Gohan just looks up and smiles at him, telling him that just as he was hiding his true power, I wasn't serious yet myself. The Shadow Dragon strikes another pose as he says that if that's the case, then please don't hesitate. Come at me seriously. I might be able to get serious myself, he laughs. Well, as he wished, Gohan finally takes the weights off and starts to release his true power. The one-star dragon certainly didn't seem to expect this, as even he's taken aback by the massive ki that Gohan had been holding back this whole time as he undergoes another transformation. Over in the realm where Oob and the others are, they can feel Gohan's raging ki even as far away as they are currently. Even down in the demon realm, Vegeta can feel that Gohan seems to have finally been pushed to use this transformation, signaling that whomever he's fighting is more powerful than he expected. As he uses the rage and emotion of losing Pan as a trigger, in one burst of overwhelming power and light, Gohan has finally returned to Super Saiyan 5. The Shadow Dragon is infatuated with Gohan's new form and true power, as this is exactly what he'd been waiting for, saying how wonderful this is. At last, Gohan is getting serious, as everyone is now watching this fight on the edge of their seats. The raging beast, Super Saiyan 5 Gohan, has finally been born. The Shadow Dragon is so excited he can barely contain himself as he says that this is beyond his greatest imagination. I'm thrilled. Now I'll have to get serious too, or else. However, now that Gohan has more control over Super Saiyan 5 than his initial transformation, he's able to command his power better than ever. He releases even more power in a furious cyclone of ki that puts quite the worried look on the Shadow Dragon's face. Even after his transformation, Gohan still had more power to release, as the Shadow Dragon is seen trembling now. Gohan telling him that this will be over soon enough, so he better brace himself. As Oob, Goten, and Trunks watch the conclusion of Gohan's battle with Elder Kai, Vegeta patiently awaits his final opponent and his chance to show his true power with Super Saiyan 5 as well. Now that Gohan has gotten serious, someone will die here, but time is of the essence. A battle of the highest level and degree is about to take place in chapter 13 of Dragon Ball AF, so be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the conclusion of this epic fight.